Welcome to Swoop Luke versus Pommy in Oz. If you're joining us from the Blue Abroad Cross Nathan Buckley stream, welcome. Nice to see you can take our leftovers and put them onto your little show, which is really nice. Our rejects, if you will. What is going on, Pommy? How you going, mate?
It's cut you deep, an absolute icon of the Collingwood Football Club.
Hey, I had to. It's fine.
Don't worry, I'd do the same if you had sauce on. I'd be like, he's a complete melt. But no, good to be here. I'm excited. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people in chat. There's a lot of familiar names as well in your chat. I'm just looking at it now, who have probably called me a CUNT at some point this week. So it's nice to be in esteemed company.
It feels good, but no, seriously. If Blue's in the chat, that's an amazing get. Well done. That's huge, and everyone go watch that that interview. It's I was watching it on the train on the way home. It was good. Well, it was pumping me up for this chat, to be honest. I feel like you're bigger than Buckley anyway, so that's how I view you in my heroes and legends anyway.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, I probably am bigger than him weight-wise as well. So, do you know what I mean? But I mean, nah, seems like a nice guy. Do you know what I mean? Quite well built, isn't he? He's kept himself in shape.
He was posting on Insta and on SEN and stuff like that. Just going to the gym. He is huge. I don't think he won't be able to fit through a door soon enough. He's just like there's that photo of him where he just looks like the Hulk and he hasn't let that down. It's crazy. I wish I would be like that when he's like in my 50s. Fucking hell. I wish.
Mate, tell you what, I wish I was like that in my 30s.
Yeah. Well, I'm in my 30s now, so far out. But before we kick off and before there's the banter and we're previewing the game, can me and Pom, we've been doing this back and forth with Blue as well for a couple of years now, probably ever since maybe 2019 or something when I started this channel. And look, it's all fun and games. We both hate each other's clubs. We love each other personally. And look, it's all fun and games until it gets personal, and then then it's all off. It kind of veers in a position where you don't want it to go, and just with was it round whenever it was earlier in the season, it got a little bit out of hand on my end as well, and on the anonymous Carlton supporters accounts as well. It does get out of hand, but if we keep it a football, it's all fun. It's all good. No holds barred if it's football. Once it starts getting personal, that's when it's a little bit insensitive. But in saying that, Pommy, how are you feeling, mate? Are you ready to rumble?
Mate, I can't wait. And well said, do you know what I mean? I share your sentiments, do you know what I mean? I love a bit of banter, do you know what I mean? Don't get personal. Unless it's Craig Mead, you can get fuck Craig. But apart from that, everyone else...
I don't know who that is, but fuck Craig Mead as well.
But I love everyone else. But nah, honestly, I'm raring to go. This is... As a UK boy, rivalries mean something to you, do you know what I mean? This is... If anyone's seen Green Street Hooligans and things like that, that's the culture that I come from. Do you know what I mean? It's really territorial, and I feel this is the. I don't want to compliment you guys too much, but one thing that I said it in my preview, I give Collingwood respect because when you guys are dog shit, you fans stay behind them. You still come in thousands. You still back your team, and that's why I think Carlton and Collingwood are so special as football clubs because we've gone through the shit. You've gone through the shit. We turn up, we defend our team, we'll slag them off. But I'll tell you what, you dare post about us and you deal with all of us. And I think that's what makes this game incredibly special because in my opinion, it's just Carlton and Collingwood as the AFL and 16 other Mickey Mouse sides just topping it up for the waivers. And I can't wait, man. This is war, man. And I expect a brilliant game.
Yeah, well, you talked about, you come from the UK and you've got your Cities and your Uniteds, Liverpool and City at the moment, Celtic and Rangers, and then you go across the pond to the Lakers and Celtic or whoever the hell it may be. the Carlton Collingwood rivalry, and we talk it up every single time, and we do this whole big thing of a week of Collingwood versus Carlton, and at people's channels, and everyone's getting this on, and I think it deserves it, because you're right. We've kept this going for so long, and you said in your match 22 roundup with Bluey, you said that if there was an AFL Super League with us two, Richmond and Essendon, no one would bother watching the other 14 clubs, because we might not be swimming in premierships at the moment, but I think it's bigger than that. It's the biggest, probably the biggest rivalry in the world. Well, one of, you got your Barca's and Reals and stuff like that, but it's one of the biggest rivalries. And it's a shout out to, and before we, this is all sentimental until I start letting loose, and these are just a bit of shadow boxing at the moment, but it should be shouted out to Blue as well. And all your guys, and we're actually, we're reigniting this rivalry. And I don't think that's an egotistical thing to say, or a narcissistic thing to say, because I haven't felt it this hard than I have in 3 years. And I'm talking about, obviously, the rivalry.
Mate, I'm with you. And I don't want to upset the Australians in the chat, but for me personally, I find AFL the most friendliest game in the world. And I find that truly bizarre. Still to this day, being here over 10 years, very, very friendly. Do you know what I mean? When I'm in AFL forums and the Perth derbies happened, and I've got Freo fans saying, "Oh, well done, Eagles. You'll be back." And I'm like, mate, honestly, if that was Celtic Rangers, I'm texting my mate abuse. He's a big Celtic boy. But I'm with you. I think we have reunited it. I think we've got a wonderful experience now in social media where these things can be done. Obviously, we've gone past the stage of spitting on children at Victoria Park. You know what I mean? We've gone past that, but we can have a bit of fun. And I think it's important that we all remember 1910 was where this rivalry ignited in violence. And there's got to be a passion here. And it is my side of Melbourne versus your side of Melbourne. And, if anyone tries to invade your tribe, you fight back. So that's how I see it.
And it's mob mentality. All right, but enough of the sentiments out of the way. You guys are literally hanging by a thread at the moment. You were 8-2 before the bye, and now you're now you're a little bit bye before the finals. Look, at the start, up until the bye, I was like, far out. I don't want to have to deal with a good Carlton. Like, it literally pained me to see Carlton fans happy. Like, it was making me sad, really sad. But now it's making me a little bit happier that you guys are hanging on other people's results. When it starts getting mathematical and you're needing this team to lose by this much, this team to win by this much, this team to lose, you need to win. It honestly brings me joy. It honestly brings me joy.
Well, I can't speak for the other fans. I'm not the type of fan that looks at opposition results. So, I mean, for me, the maths are simple. Win this weekend, you're in the finals. And that's, for me, the only way I consider this season a dub, is that we get in there on our own back. Yes, you're right. Our form has been a little bit wayward since that 8-2. First 8-2, but the first 10 rounds, you guys were like us. We've kind of really mirrored you. Do you know what I mean? Yep. We came out of the blocks, one of the best teams of the comp, and we've clung on. But honestly, it was poetic last week. Great result for Sydney. They finally stopped that winning streak. So we go into this game with a clean slate. And I think when you're playing these type of games, even when Carlton were getting dicked 100 points by GWS, we could rise to you guys. This game, there's no form. It's two teams going toe-to-toe, punching on, and that's what we want to see.
So you say you go to this game with a clean slate. Do you think that, I feel like last week's loss, and that, let me just remind you. So what happened was, in the last couple of seconds, you guys had the ball and you were playing with the ball and you were winning. It was awesome. Adam Saad drops that mark. The woof doesn't go up. And then Melbourne get the ball. It comes back. Your defenders can't defend, and Pickett kicks that winner. And I've probably watched it about 100 times because
I'm sure you have.
You can pinpoint the second where Carlton's fans' hearts break knowing that finals is still on the line. I feel like that's so demoralizing. But in saying that, knowing that you need to win is remoralizing. I don't know if that's a word, but it kind of like it saps you, but then you have to go that extra percent.
I think when you play Collingwood, whether you're 1 win and you're going to have a 2-win season, or whether you're playing finals, or whether you're winning the flag, I would expect all 22 boys on Sunday to turn up and want to win regardless. I would say that for us, yes, you could argue it's demoralizing. It's nice to see as well that you watched it. As an advocate of stop mentioning Dom Sheed to Collingwood fans, I run that campaign because I find it sickening to get pleasure in opposition, inflicting opposition any pain. I think for us, for Carlton, they're going to be strong, man. This is a side that fights. And I'll tell you what, there's no team we like beating rather than you guys. So I wouldn't worry about 4 points. Cozzy Pickett, well done. He took his opportunity. They'll be hungry. They'll be hungry. And honestly, every game as it comes, this is the biggest game for both of our sides. Top 4 for you. Otherwise, your brilliant 11-streak run is just one chance. And that would, for me, that would hurt me more. I would say 11-game win. And if I don't get a double chance, that would hurt for me a lot more than winning 8-2 at the start of the year.
I've already made my crossroad deal with the demon, mate. So I'll happily go out in straight sets if it's easy. You guys drop out of the A. I'd eat that. I'd eat that up like a HSP on a Friday night. So look, you said we know it's a big game. Do you think this might be the biggest game? Well, we haven't played each other when we've both been in the top 8 since 2012. Do you think this is the biggest game? This is the biggest home and away game just in the AFL for a long time? I can't remember a bigger, and because it's on a Sunday, the last game of the round, and if the Doggies win, it just makes it even bigger.
I can't remember one this big. Do you know what I mean? I think when you look at both Carlton and Collingwood's history in the last 10 as well, we've always been polar opposites. Do you know what I mean? We haven't even had that where there's a game where it actually is relevant, really, but we've always made it relevant. So I think if I was the AFL, I'd be stroking my downstairs because it couldn't be any better, could it? Do you know what I mean? One of the last games Sunday, top 4, top 8, will they, won't they? The only disappointment is Doggies play just before us, so chance that if Hawthorn do what they do in Tasmania because they're weird, there could be that impetus. It would be nice if this was like the Man City, Man United, Man City versus QPR moment.
Yeah.
You know, where we're all on our radios, full quarter. As it happened. But I think this is a huge game. I don't think you can get any bigger a game in the year unless it was Collingwood, Carlton, and a granny.
Yeah, or an elimination final.
Yeah. We've got to take the steps as we go. Steps as we go.
You mentioned QPR and Man City. Do you think that, not that they would do it now, but I've always been of the ilk that the last round of the season should be played. There's so many ovals in this country that it should be all played at the same time for something like this. It would make the last day drama. Like, we love the last day of the EPL. I think last season, only 1 or 2 games, it didn't really matter what way the results went. There was relegation battles. There was obviously City and Liverpool fighting it out for the top spot. Do you think that's a way that the AFL can go?
I think there's a good argument to say that this should be maybe, you know, the where they go to the interstate and the smaller grounds like Melbourne go and play in Northern Territory. So you could have 3 o'clock Sunday, everyone plays in one go. Even go back to the traditional grounds. I mean, imagine this ground if it was at Icon Park or if it was at Victoria Park. Imagine that. A bit of old school mentality. I agree with you. I think it takes a bit of the drama out. The final day, as you know, as a Man City fan, QPR, that was probably one of the greatest last 10 minutes of sporting history. The fact that United had the title. And even Villa as well, you know? Yeah, mate, these are the kind of things you want to see, don't they? But I mean, at the end of the day, all eyes in Australia will be watching MCG, us versus you, and that's just the nature of the beast. And it's not disrespectful to the other clubs, but no one cares about them.
No, especially not this weekend. So look, we know that our fan bases can be feral at times. What has been some of the best shit that you've copped this week? Because I know you would have.
I think the best, well, I mean, historically, the best was, I'm forgetting the guy's name, but the guy questioned my sexuality. So I replied with a willy pick, and he promptly blocked me. That's probably the best one I've had. I've just had the usual ones. It's usually what annoys me, right, is where I come from, is if you're going to be horrible to me, like, at least back it up. Like, either it's banter or we're going to have a throwdown. And it's the ones that do stupid stuff. Like, you know, the worst human beings in the world, two people who are the worst human beings in the world, and this is clinically proven, are people with car pictures as profile pictures. It's like the national sign that you're a moron. And the other one is people who have their university degrees in bios. Honestly, and I've copped a few from them. Like, I've copped one of your fans called me out because I said everyone needs to get in your DMs. And then he spent the next 6 days bullying an 18-year-old girl. So, I mean, he's more confused than Scooby-Doo, but nothing that I can't handle.
I think, it's, look, it's crazy. And I've experienced it the most. I've never experienced it harder than I did earlier this season. It was something else. Like kind of like what I alluded to at the start of this video. It was something else, but keep it a footy, and it's good. And you kind of, yes, you want to win to make finals, and yes, we want to win to make top 4, kick you out of finals. But it's those bragging rights, because I tell you, if we win and we kick you out of finals, every single Carlton supporter it just won't hear the end of it until you make finals next year. It's just, and the same for you guys. If you make finals and we miss out on top 4 and have to verse Richmond in an elimination final when Tom Lynch is kicking 8, the week previously, you won't let us live it down. So there's a lot more than finals on the line, I feel.
Doing this caper like you, Swoop, you put yourself out there to a lot of people, don't you? And you do say some stuff that sometimes is foolish, but I feel you. I mean, I was quite lucky. The Collingwood faithful were quite nice to me because you did that video of getting excited at round 11. So they were more defending you from Carlton fans. But I have to say, when you were on that live stream with me, and was probably the best bit of TV for 3 hours ever as well, because it had all the emotions. But my inbox was fire because I did celebrate that one hard. Do you know what I mean? I did celebrate that one hard.
That was pretty good. All right, Pom, tell me why. Tell me what gets you fired up. What makes you, as a Carlton supporter, and as UK soccer and your Rangers, right? So what fires you up and gets you going against Collingwood? Why do you hate us so much? Because it's a strong word, but that's exactly what it is. I've never hated a team more than I hate Carlton right now. And that's not just like I'm doing it for this thing. I absolutely despise it.
I think it's the fan element for me. And this is generalization because there is some Pies fans in there that I like. But I think the big one recently, particularly the last 3 or 4 years, is the bollocks that I do see on Twitter. The fact that Pies fans will go on their anti-racism campaign, but then they'll defend the goey. Do you know what I mean? And it's the chop and changing. I find Pies fans the most bizarre people who chop and change history, current affairs to suit their agenda. Now, I can only speak for myself because I'm fairly consistent. I don't tweet about anything political because I don't care. But I genuinely do see it an awful lot. Every time you get into a debate with a Pies fan, it'll be like, oh, this guy here said he doesn't watch women's football. He's a Carlton fan. Oh, he's sexist. And then they're resharing Free Jordan De Goey. And you're like, what? And then you call them out on that inadequacy. And they're like, oh, but in 1874, one of the Carlton players, he didn't pay his bar tab. You're all dickheads. So that is the big thing for me.
So do you think that and that's fair enough. I know that you thrive more than I do off opposition fan interactions, don't you? I see you on Twitter giving metaphors and anecdotes that no one else gets besides you, Pom.
Even my own fan base copy it from me at times as well. Mate, honestly, I live by the belief I can give it out and I can take pretty much. I'm very hard to be abused, if I'm honest. I would say I'm probably almost like Jesus Christ in my ability to not be offended by people.
I am screen recording this and using that against you one day. I swear
but genuinely, nothing that comes in my DMs affects me because at the end of the day, what's going to happen? You're hardly going to be beaten up by someone that's living at home with your mum at 32, are you? Like, hasn't happened ever in the history of man.
So, oh man, and that just brings me around to just the fans, and even the fans in the chat now. 178, and yes, you're probably all Pommy supporters, and that's amazing, and we love it. And I'm reading what everyone is saying, and it's fun. But if you guys lose, what happens to you? Do you just go into hibernation? Do you not upload? Do you not tweet? Are you thinking about the loss at all?
Negativity never enters this realm that you see before. So honestly, all I see is Carlton win. Should anything unlikely happen, I will be uploading Monday. Do you know what I mean? As usual, why hide? Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, that's the big thing. Why hide? Like, I'll own what I say. I'm not perfect, even though I've compared myself to Jesus Christ. But no, I will back this team till the day I die. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? Do you know what I mean? I'll get a few texts and someone will screenshot the time that I called myself Jesus or something. Ooh. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, no, 100%. Can we talk about now, because it's been in the news for the last couple of weeks, and there was a lot. I don't know if any of you guys in the chat is on Twitter, but Patrick Cripps and he bumps who he wants. He bumps who he wants. Knocked out an unconscious player, got off 2 weeks, and he bumps who he wants. Was that the chant? Is that how it went?
I don't know. I think you got it right until you added your own bits, and then it wasn't grammatically correct. But that was the chant. Yeah, he bumps who he wants, and do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he does bump who he wants. Good lad, big fella, didn't do anything wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's a physical sport.
It is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He took Archie out, and thankfully, the laws of this land protected him as they should.
And you guys just didn't care about knocking a poor guy unconscious and how he jumped off and turned his body and hit him. That was fine because he just bumps who he wants, right? He's Patrick Cripps. He can bump who he wants.
Mate, it's a tough game. Liam Jones got knocked out a couple of years ago. Do you know what I mean? And we didn't hate the doggies for doing that. It's the nature of the beast. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Cripps is our captain. You get certain privileges playing for the best clubs in the world as well. So
you admit that there's a conspiracy that they just
no,
let him play.
I am sure Callum Archie, when he came round, was thankful that Cripps did that. Thankful.
Well, Callum Archie is not playing this week, so he really got suspended for 2 weeks, and Cripps is free to play.
Good. Best players should play.
But that's exactly it. It makes this Sunday's game bigger that you're captain. What did he have? 12 tackles on the weekend?
Mate, guy's an animal. Do you know what I mean? And now he knows that the AFL are giving him a whole pass to do whatever he wants.
Interesting. Fucking interesting. So what are your thoughts going into this game? Honestly, like how you previewed it, what we're going up against, what we've been, us losing to Sydney, your confidence levels, how do you think it's going to play out?
I think when I look at this game, I look at what the Pies have generated, and you guys are tough around the ball. Do you know what I mean? You may give up stoppages and clearances, but what you do is you work like frantic beavers trying to build a dam, and you stay in. Do you know what I mean? You stay in the contest and you play with heart. And to be honest, I'd be very proud of them boys because they play for your club. What I'm expecting is this is two styles, isn't it? Two fans. Yep. Two teams that play a very tough brand of football, that play a very hard at it ground ball game. Carlton go about it slightly different. We like to kick, mark, and control the footy. You guys play complete chaos. It's like playing the Joker and we're Batman. And you add that fuel. I'm expecting a real tight, old school contest. I want to see Cripper at halftime taking on all you guys like he did in 2019. With Jack Silvani pushing Scott Pendlebury and then hiding behind the umpire like he did in 2019. That was my favourite moment ever. And that's what I'm expecting to see.
You're pretty lucky in that regard that, and you've talked about him before, Taylor Adams not playing then.
Mate, I will want to caveat this. I was a big advocate about Brainerd Maynard. I thought that suspension was a disgrace. I love tough players. I think that's what separates this sport from your round ball, from all your others. I wish Taylor Adams was there because I'm not like the other fans. I'm glad the Goey's playing. I'm glad Ginnivan's playing. I want to beat you guys at your best. So Monday morning comes round and I do my welfare check on you to see if you're all right because you're now fifth. That I can start laying into you because I've beaten your best 22. So I'm gutted he's not there because he's a competitor. He makes the game better. And there would be nothing better than seeing Taylor Adams go against Cripps.
Yeah. I think, like you said, if there's not at least one punch on or scuffle, it's not a real rivalry. And Jacob Wiedering, I can't say my W's, talked about the old rival. And that's exactly what it is. It's going to be, like you said, a frantic, hard-fought game. And I don't really see it being a very high score. I see it being just very brutal. It's going to be a brutal game because for you guys, it's do or die. For us, we're playing finals. So we get the top four finish. That'll be perfect. We lose, we're playing finals. But for you guys, unless Bulldogs lose, it's do or die. So I think that it is just everybody's body is going to be put on the line and is going to be an amazing thing to see.
Well, I mean, I'm what the book is at the moment, $1.92. Do you know what I mean? Both sides. No one can separate them. You would say Carlton are the A side, though, of this, because I know that a lot of the Collingwood fans loved watching that 5-hour stream we did on Cripper. So, like, Carlton are the Hollywood side here. We're the Brad Pitt. Do you know what I mean? And
did you say Bollywood or Hollywood?
Hollywood.
Oh, Hollywood. Interesting. I keep hearing when you say Carlton, I keep hearing Bollywood. You know, just the wannabe Hollywood.
I'm pretty sure Bollywood outsells Hollywood, though, isn't it? It's the most mass-watched thing in the world.
So we're Bollywood then. Awesome. Perfect.
You called Hollywood. So confused.
What do you want me to say? You got me there, mate. I was against the wall, mate. What the fuck did you want me to say there?
But, I mean, no, honestly. I mean, it's like Collingwood, you guys love Carlton. Like, secretly, there's a bit different to Celtic and Rangers because Celtic, my mate, refuses to talk to me, and we've never talked to each other 2 weeks before a game. So we're actually not talking to each other now because it gets horrible. But you watch Carlton versus Pies. You guys will be watching it. I'm sure people will be texting me who are Collingwood fans. The Doggies score. Like, it'll be them who are actually interested in it. It won't be me. Because we're probably going to be 30 up at that stage.
Fuck. All right. Settle down, mate. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like the last time. So let's talk about the last time we played. So early on in the season, you guys were on a nice little roll. You guys have a couple of outs. Arguably, you're going into this Sunday's game. Not arguably, it's on paper that you guys are a better side on paper now than you were earlier on in the season. Does that give you a little bit more confidence knowing that you you are a better side to the team that lost earlier in the season?
100%. I mean, I think the big thing for me with Carlton last time is we were missing a few key players, but also when we lost Wheater you look at that game, and I think even Pies fans, if they're honest, do you know what I mean, will say that Carlton were dealing with that transition threat very well. Wheater took, 2 intercept marks, a couple of score launches. It was a poor time for him to go down, and we had to replace him with old Jack Carroll, who isn't 6'8" and a key defender, and Carlton started to just play Plowman, centre half back. It was a bit of a nightmare for the boys. So it kind of ruined the contest for me. Carlton did very well, though, with heart to stay in it. And Pies managed to snag the win. But I think this time now, you've beaten Carlton's B team. You're playing Carlton's A team now. And Carlton's A team, they're hungry and they're ready and they're coming for you.
Do you think that if you guys do win, make finals, that what's your ideal scenario? Make finals, win one and out? Is that what your head's telling you, or is that what your heart's telling you?
I think if there's no fans in this chat that don't think at the end of this game the aim is to win a final, I would question why you support both of your teams. So for me, it's get over this, maybe Brisbane, maybe Melbourne. Depends how it fits. In an unlikely world, we could even have you 2 times in a week. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If results go that way. So for me, it's looking long-term, get to the finals.
So what do you think about what Harry Mackay said on the couch a couple of weeks ago when he said, yeah, this season's been a success and you guys might miss finals? Do you think that was a bit of a look out from the outside looking in? I don't think it didn't sit right with me, not as a Carlton supporter. If, Taylor Adams came out and said, yeah, look, we've had a really good season, new coach, new game plan. We were right to make finals and finish top 4, but now we might finish 9th. But it's still a win for us.
No, I mean, Harry texted me just before and he was like, you'll be doing a live stream with Swoop in 4 weeks, won't you? So he was like, I'll just put some bait out there so they've got a bit of hope. So well done, Haz. I mean, honestly, Harry's a complicated character because you don't quite know if Ben Mackay and him are different people. So I'm not 100% sure it was Harry there. So to tell you the truth, I agreed with him. Well, that's a lie. I completely disagreed with everything he said. But I don't believe Carlton in the media are going to say finals. I think they've learned from the last 3 years, every time we say, oh, we're playing finals and we finish 16th, it's not very good for your damage limitation. Yeah. So I don't believe for a second that they believe finishing 9th is a success, because you asked what would happen if we lose. In the unlikely event we don't make the 9, I reckon my rant will rival Hiroshima, Pompeii. It will be a big arse rant. It will be a big arse rant, and we'll see how Pom sees it as a success.
Are you going to the game on Sunday?
Watch-alongs all year, as promised. So, all you Pies fans in here, you're welcome to come on down. It'll be always good darts. You're always nice to have around. Real nice people. So,
Pies fans watching this now, if you guys can't make the sellout crowd, because it is a Carlton home game, so unless you have an away reserve ticket with the Pies or upgraded, you can't go in. If you just watch Pom slowly disintegrate into madness on Sunday by about 4:30, when the Pies are up by, let's say, 19 points and it's just out of reach. The Doggies have just smashed Hawthorn in Tasmania. Does that make you a bit nervous if the Doggies come out and win? Like, I know it would. I know that's a silly question to ask, and you've already said that a win here, you win at all costs. But do you think, because I remember back when we were versing Villa, back when City were versing Villa and Liverpool were versing whoever the hell they were versing, they were up 2-0 or something, and some guy from the crowd let them know that it was 3-2. So you could see that Salah, after that goal, a bit deflated. Does that, because I assume that the game will still be going when we play, right?
Yeah, it will be, yeah. So pretty much with the time difference, it'll be almost half time by the time we bounce. It won't be far off.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm going in with this with the mindset that the Dogs have won by 40.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and I hope the players are as well. I hope the players mentally are going in that we have to win and we have to steamroll what's in front of us. I keep saying it. I'm a firm believer in energies and what you present out there. For me, it scares me when I see Carlton fans say stuff like, "Oh, I'll be cheering on the Dogs" and stuff, because something I don't do. Like, honestly, I know Swoop loves commenting on other teams, and yeah, I get into you.
I do.
I get into it. You'd never see that from Uncle Pom. Uncle Pom couldn't give a shit about 17 teams. But they don't exist unless we play them. So, like, yeah, for me, I'm going into this. Pies of what? That Doggies have won by 40. We've got to beat the Pies. And I hope the players and the fans are doing that.
And as a Carlton supporter, how do you beat the Pies? What's your, if you were talking to Voss right now, what do you say? And Voss has no clue. He hasn't watched any Collingwood games this season. What are you telling him to say? This is how we stop Collingwood.
More of what you did last week. So we saw the return of, instead of playing tags and playing tippy-tappy football, we saw that we protected sides, which we took Ed Langdon out of the game. So you've got to take side bottom out. He killed us last time. And you've got to take that run and carry off Dacos. Got to watch that half-back line because you play Pendles there now. Nick Dacos flows through there. So if you guys get some transition, it's very direct. So Carlton have got to be hot for the contest, hot for ground balls. You guys don't mark. You attack in numbers, but because you attack in numbers, we can hit you on the counter, which is what Sydney did incredibly well. So I'll be telling Voss, these boys need to not leave anything out there. They can't leave anything out there. And you know what? Run them hard, run them ragged, because you guys don't die. You guys have to be killed. And that is what the Blues have got to do. Hard, brave, fearless, attack, attack, attack. And at the end of the game, our wonderful song will play.
Pom, look, that you don't die, you have to be killed. That's amazing. And I'll use that. When we knock you out, I'll be using that in my intros for all my videos when I preview finals. So finals happens when you finish in the top 8, you play finals football. I know you haven't played it in about 10 years, but you're pretty much the best of the best play. And I'll be using that when we win and in subsequent games leading into finals. But Pom, look, I built this up and we built this up as kind of no holds barred, but you've got too much of a likable face to hate you and spill that hatred. I do. Let me reiterate that I think my parents are watching, but I fucking hate Carlton. Like I had one of the guys from a couple of Carlton channels and he said he goes, I have never hated Collingwood more than I do like these last couple of years, and it's true. And I absolutely, with every fiber, every inch, and every time, it's like I'm kind of like Thanos in the sense. You said you're like Jesus. I'm kind of like Thanos in the sense that every time a Carlton supporter tweets me, or as long as it's not personal, those ones I do take a little bit tough personally. But if about the football, it's kind of like getting those infinity stones in the Collingwood gauntlet. It just builds up that Ben Lawrence just said, "Poop Luke, you're deluded."
That's quite clever, that.
Which is pretty funny. I've never been called Poop Luke before. So Ben Lawrence, I'm just gonna screenshot this so I can DM you when you guys don't make finals. And I've screenshotted a couple of your things. But but look, I've been bookmarking tweets. I've been slowly going about my business. But yeah, I wanted to hate you, Pom, from the start, and I just can't. I hate Carlton, but I just can't hate you.
Well, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I mean, a lot of Australians hate Poms, but I'm a bit like genital warts, though. You're going to have to love me because I'm not going to go away. I'll always come back. So, I mean, you probably didn't want me, but now you've got me. You're stuck with me. I mean, mate, this makes it. The watch along last year during COVID was brilliant. I mean, and doing this kind of shit with you is amazing. I mean, I've just compared myself to Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean? The guy that died without sin. I mean, there's not many places where you can hear that outrageous statement, can you?
No, you only can hear it on your coming from your fucking beautiful mouth, Pommy. Pommy, any last words before we resume our rivalry?
Mate, I think if you can't get down to the game, get on the watch along. But honestly, you've got a duty. Both teams are proud. Both teams are playing with pride. Do you know what I mean? So get down there, get on the internet, support your team, give it to Carlton fans, give it to Collingwood fans. Remember, you're all a family. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. It's my family versus your family. Do you know what I mean? And fucking cheer them on, because I'm a firm believer in these positive energies, like I say. And do you know what I mean? Like, leave the shit banter. Like, I've seen a few comments about racism in there and stuff. Leave the shit banter out.
Yeah.
And try and have some good ones. And if you ever struggle, you can always DM me because I'm the master of one-liners. But, I mean, maybe DM Ben because that poop Luke, that's got me.
That's pretty.
I love a bit of wordplay.
Oh, now Pies 4L said poop Luke. And that's just not original now, mate. That's just Benny's already said it. Come on, mate. But, Pom, as always, it's always a pleasure getting you on. Thank you so much. And we will resume it. We'll resume it as soon as this stream stops. I'm not gonna wish you luck. I'm not gonna wish you health on Sunday. I honestly hope from the bottom of my heart, Pom, that you really struggle on Sunday afternoon and you descend into a deep, dark madness that you really can't come back from. That's what I really hope. Like from the bottom of my heart, I really hope you descend into a deep, dark madness in that white straitjacket, and you guys miss out on finals.
So you've watched my lives before then? Mate, honestly, I wish you nothing but misery. All I can say, do you know what I mean? Apart from Pom Vs Swoop, Luke, because I know that she apologised on your behalf for swearing. She's a good one. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, she's the best.
I love you. But no, honestly, there's no greater pleasure. The only pleasure I could get more is if we could knock you out of this thing. But unfortunately, we could do the second best thing, and that is give you a one-shot chance. And then after that, honestly, part of me will be praying that you get through because I want to play you guys in a granny. That is my dream. And then I can retire from this caper because I don't think I can ever reach a pinnacle than getting excited about playing you in the final.
Jesus Christ. Imagine. I don't even want to imagine that. Let's just I'm focusing on Sunday. That's all that matters to me. Pom, thank you. Love you. Hate you at the same time. Chat. Fuck off. See you guys. Love you.
God bless.
Bye.